The Lakers make a trade that not one gossipy little bastard on the internet saw coming. Shannon Sharpe apologizes for making an ass of himself at Crypto.com arena, and some scribe escaped an insane asylum just long enough to tell us that the Clippers have no intention of trading Kawhi Leonard. Really? No kidding! Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports scene in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It is January 24th, 2023. Thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. It means a lot. I'm on my way to the airport to take the red eye out east to keep working. If you like the content that we put out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. It's fun, don't you think? So before we go through the news and notes from LA sports, quick look at the scoreboard. There weren't any games yesterday. Nice and quiet on my birthday. It was a beautiful thing. Meanwhile, today, the Lakers are going to face the Clippers tonight. And I am very much looking forward to this game because the Lakers play with grit and the Clippers are trying to rediscover their grit. So it's going to be compelling. Also, the Kings are at Philadelphia at 4 o'clock. The Flyers beat the Kings last month 4-2. But let's get back to the Lakers. They have finally made a trade. Now, if you just type in Lakers on a Google search, let's say you just want to see what the hell's going on with Anthony Davis and his recovery, you get bombarded with story after story about all these crazy trades that are apparently being in the works, and not one of them have come to pass. It was kind of like how those same morons online listed about 30 players that the Dodgers were supposedly going to sign, and of course, didn't happen either. But yesterday, the Lakers did make a move. They sent Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round draft picks to the Washington Wizards for forward Rui Hachimura. And I love this trade. I do. Because nobody saw it coming. I love it when people are like swearing to God that they know what's going to happen, that they have the inside dope, and they just face plant right in front of all of us. All of those breathless proposed trades, just like that. I mean, you're even getting proposed trades from people we were supposed to respect. David Aldridge, remember him? A couple of days ago, he was trying to project the Lakers trading LeBron James to Chicago for 3 players. Come on, guys. Tether yourselves back to reality. Oh, they're going to trade LeBron James. Oh, they're going to amputate Anthony Davis's foot and then trade him. I mean, okay, I'm a former sports writer. College sports writers, they have to deal with somebody who works for the school called the Sports Information Director, the SID. I want to be the SID of Reality University. I don't deal in rumors. So here's the straight talk about this trade. Kendrick Nunn, going to Washington. He sat out all of last year with a knee problem. He fell out of the rotation. Hey, I hate to say this about a grown man, but he's got to rebuild his career. Also, LA sends 3 second-round draft picks. Considering all those rumors of the Lakers sending lottery picks out for players, 3 second-round picks is chump change. So what do they get back? Well, Hachimura is a former lottery pick who lost playing time to Kyle Kuzma. Now, you might be asking yourself, wait a second, isn't Kuzma a former Laker? Why not trade for him? It's because when he was on the championship team of the Lakers just a couple of years ago, he didn't fit that well next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But Hachimura is a prototype 3-and-D guy that would fit in with the plans of Coach Darvin Ham. Hachimura, for example, sank more than 40% of catch and release 3-point shots. In other words, open ones. Contested, it drops down to 33%. But they need 3-point shooting. They need wing defenders. This fits the prototype. Also, the Lakers are talking about signing him for a long-term deal. Now that's going to carry a little bit of risk because without further trades to take advantage of, say, the expiring contract of Russell Westbrook and some other players, the Lakers would only have about $35 million under the cap going into next offseason. Do you really want to use half of that salary cap's relief on one guy who you haven't seen play for your own team yet? Bit of a risk. So let me bottom line this for you. This is a trade that moves the needle. The Lakers, in fact, do win this trade because it fills a position of need. But let's be clear, we don't really know what this guy is capable of. We don't even know if he's going to be a starter, and at least not at this time. And oh, by the way, it does not make the Lakers title contenders. So there's that. Fox Sports hot take meister Shannon Sharpe went on his little show with his even littler friend on Monday and apologized for the scrape that he got into at Crypto.com Arena when the Lakers played Memphis. Now, for those of you who didn't hear about it, Sharpe had a courtside seat and at halftime got into a shouting match with a few Grizzlies players and Ja Morant's father. Even to the point where Sharpe actually walked onto the court and NBA referees had to break it up. Now, I did see the clip of Sharpe apologizing. And I admit, I called him out hardcore on Saturday morning, but I took this as a complete and sincere apology. I think Sharpe owned up to it. And frankly, I respect that. We all make mistakes. You, me, all of us. We all have things we need to atone for. And I think Sharpe did. Just giving you my own personal thought. Having said that, that doesn't make me want to watch his show. So let's keep things tethered again to reality. I mentioned earlier about all these stupid Lakers trade rumors, right? The Athletic wrote yesterday that the Clippers have no interest in trading Kawhi Leonard. Okay. Who the hell thought the Clippers ever wanted to trade Kawhi Leonard? Where the hell did this come from, right? I mean, I know they want a backup center, but dude, I don't think the asking price is going to be Kawhi Leonard, right? How stoned do you have to be to think the Clippers were going to trade Kawhi Leonard? How would you possibly get fair value for that? Now, for those holes in the Clippers roster, i.e. backup center and possibly a competent point guard, I was asking myself, how exactly would the Clippers pull this off? And frankly, they actually do have a path to do it. They have consistently made trades at the trading deadline. They feel like rabbits out of the hat, but CBS Sports gave the answer. The majority of players on the Clippers roster have mid-level contracts between $10 million and $16 million. You're looking at people like Reggie Jackson, Robert Covington, Nick Batum, Marcus Morris, Luke Kennard, etc. Maybe you can find a competent backup center for one of those players. You're getting rid of a glut of forwards to basically balance out the roster. It is possible. Arizona leapfrogged UCLA in the latest AP college basketball rankings. This is obviously a result of the Wildcats snapping the Bruins' 14-game winning streak Saturday. Arizona is now ranked 6th. UCLA, they were in the top 5. They slipped down to 8th. They are the only two teams from the Pac-12 ranked in the top 25, by the way. LA Galaxy have sent winger Samuel Grandsir back to his homeland of France, to Ligue 2's Le Havre AC, and I have no idea how to pronounce French words, so I'm going to leave that one there. Grandsir played 2 years for LA. He scored 7 goals, added 13 assists. He was primarily known for hurting LAFC, which obviously endears him to Galaxy supporters. Against the Black and Gold, he played 7 matches, scored 3 times, added 4 assists. So against their rivals in El Tráfico, he was on point. But Grandsir wanted back home. They never gave a specific reason. The belief is he was basically homesick, all of which is fine, but it does leave the Galaxy in a bit of a lurch. Greg Vanny loves having wingers in his formation, but without Grandsir, without Kevin Cabral, and possibly without Douglas Costa, who the hell's left? We have taken LAFC to task during MLS offseason for their lack of depth at midfield. But you got to be fair about it too. LA Galaxy has a roster problem now at winger that they need to resolve relatively quickly. When I was in high school, I used to see this t-shirt worn by teams during their preseason training camps. It had this really hokey motto: "We don't rebuild, we reload." And, you know, it's something that when you're a high school kid, yeah, you tend to believe hokey little mottos like that. Because you do lose players. No, we're not rebuilding the team, we're reloading. Well, Rams general manager Les Snead almost stepped in the cliche pile of turd. He was caught himself before he said rebuilding and reloading. Instead, he chose a new word: remodeling. Okay, guys watching too many of those Home and Garden Network shows, I suppose, but okay. So what the hell is a remodel? Well, I can tell you it's technically underway, because the massive purge of the Rams coaching staff is necessitating a remodeling. Snead believes that the core players on the team are still in their physical prime, and with 10 draft picks coming up, albeit most of them on day 3 of the NFL draft, the GM believes he can find competent complementary players. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm buying what he's selling right now. The way I see it, I think the bigger question for the Rams is how's their offensive line going to hold up next year. A lot of them were injured. They never had any consistency. Lack of consistency on the offensive line, in my opinion, is what led to the injuries to Matthew Stafford. It led to the lack of production from Cam Akers. And then, of course, the wide receivers had to make adjustments they were comfortable with. Led to a lot of problems up and down the offense. I think the whole thing rests on the consistency of the offensive line next year. The Chargers search for an offensive coordinator, which frankly looks like they're rummaging through the Rams coaching room, continues in earnest. The Chargers did interview Rams quarterbacks coach Zach Robinson for the gig Monday. Next up is senior offensive assistant Greg Olsen. Now, Olsen has served as an offensive coordinator before. He's done so with multiple teams: the Raiders, Lions, Buccaneers, Jags. But if my memory is correct, he prefers a zone blocking style in the running game. I don't know if it's the right hire, to be honest with you. I don't remember the Raiders, Lions, Bucks, or Jags going ballistic with Greg Olsen at the helm. Just saying. By the way, the Bolts are projected to have the 5th worst salary cap situation in the NFL, about $19 million over the cap. We'll see what they have to do then. The rebuild of the USC offensive line appears to be complete. The Trojans have once again raided Florida. Ethan White is coming west. He is the second Gators lineman to do so in the transfer portal. White started all 13 Florida games at left guard, which ironically is the one glaring hole that the Trojans had on their offensive line going into the offseason. White did not allow a sack last year. Now, as it currently stands, your USC offensive line includes 3 transfers, 2 returning starters. Washington State transfer, Jared Kingston at left tackle, White at left guard. Justin Dedich returns to USC to play center. Yona Monheim will play right guard, and the other Florida transfer, Michael Tarkin, is going to play right tackle. UCLA, not to be outdone, has also added an offensive tackle via the transfer portal. Kadere Kunta comes from Old Dominion. And I must say, I respect that Sports Illustrated, in announcing Kunta's transfer, has called their shot about not only him, but the state of the Bruins football program as a whole. They wrote that, yes, UCLA has added 14 players through the transfer portal, but Kunta is one of the few that is considered likely to start. It does go in line with a tape that I've been harping on over and over and over, that if I were a Bruins fan, I would want them to take recruiting defensive talent more seriously. And I believe the same thing about USC. Absolutely. First school to sanity wins. But again, offensive tackles are important. So adding Kunta is really most likely a good idea for the Bruins. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. And if you do like the content that we put out about LA Sports, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA Sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Quian Corte El Queso production. Take care.